Hey guys, and welcome to a new little series of mine. Something you may have heard over at Johnstone's or at ChaoticMeatball channels. The Professor Oak Challenge. Little disclaimer at the start. I don't really want to copy their concepts. They did such great videos, which you definitely should check out, and I thought it might be a fun thing to do on my own. Turned out, it is. So, this is my little spin on the series. And because I am who I am, I started it with the easiest of the games you can do a Professor Oak challenge. Pokemon Gold and Silver. Well, Pokemon Silver to be more precise. But what is the Professor Oak challenge, you may ask? To make it short, you must catch all Pokemon before the next gym badge available. This means that you have to fully evolve your starter and other annoying Pokemon to their last evolution stage before you can take on your first badge. Also, you're not allowed to use glitches or a second copy of the game. This means that some Pokemon like the version exclusives and trait evolutions will be out of reach for the challenge. But don't worry, we will catch quite a lot of Pokemon. Literally. So, knowing the rules of it, let's get into it. This video will cover the first pre-Batch 1 section. The story plays out as usual in Pokemon Gold and Silver. You get greeted by Professor Oak, and not Professor Elm for some reason, and you find yourself in the Pokemon world. Go downstairs, receive your Pokegear, and make your way to the lab to receive your starter. And all of that without 10-minute cutscenes. Take notes, game developers. Now is the time that we have the first choice of our run. The starter Pokemon. Usually I would always go with Cyndaquil, since it's my favorite. But here this could be more than annoying. You see, all three starters reach their final evolution stages at different levels. Chikorita will evolve into a Meganium at level 32, Cyndaquil into a Typhlosion at level 36, and Totodile into a Feraligatr at level 30. This may not sound like a huge difference to the average player playing the game the intended way. But a single level can make at least a 1 to 2 hour difference here, since we can only grind level 5 wild encounters at max. So, our choice will be Totodile today. We get our first task of seeing Mr. Pokemon over at Route 30. After arriving at his place, Professor Oak greets us and we are now in possession of a brand new Pokédex. Also, Mr. Pokemon gives us a mysterious Pokemon egg, which we need to take over to Professor Elm. After thousands of years of coexisting with Pokemon, we just found out that they use eggs to reproduce. For real, what are Pokemon researchers doing all day? Anyways, we make our way back to the lab and run into our rival for the first time. After royally kicking his butt, we come back to the lab, name our rival, hand over the mysterious egg to Professor Elm, and get rewarded with our first Pokeballs. This is where the fun begins. Now we just need to tell our mom that she needs to save money for us. Don't worry, I will explain later why this is important. We make our way to Route 29. Here we can catch Rattata, Pidgey and Sandrit during the day, and Hoot Hoot at night. And we are almost out of Pokeballs already. Money, especially in this stage, is quite an issue, so make sure that you make every Pokeball count. After buying some more Pokeballs, we can head straight to Route 30, where we can get our first exclusive, Ladybug. Because of this, Spinarak and Ariados won't be available for us. Other than that, we can catch ourselves a Weedle. Heading up to Route 31, we have access to Bellsprout, and in Union Cave, you can get Zubat, Geodude, and with a 1% encounter rate, a Dunsparce. I catch 2 Bellsprout during this section, so I can use one of them for a trait for an Onix in Violet City. Arriving in Violet City, now you have access to your 2 main grinding spots, the Sprout Tower in the north and the Ruins of Alph in the west. Other than that, going further than that is not possible because of Sudowoodo blocking the path in the west and an NPC blocking the path in the south until you have your first badge. In the Ruins of Alph, we can catch ourselves an Unknown, and in the Sprout Tower at night we can get a Ghastly. I strongly recommend grinding your Pokemon in the Sprout Tower, since Ghastly gives out the most EXP at this point, reaching up to 80 EXP if you manage to find a level 6 Ghastly. If you're training normal type Pokemon, make sure to train in the Ruins of Alph, since they give you still whopping 43 experience for each Pokemon you beat. Doing so, I managed to evolve my starter into a Croconaw and into a Feraligatr at level 30 after around 6 hours. Zubat into a Golbat at level 22, and with max happiness into a Crobat after around 4 hours. Ladybar? God, I hated to train that thing. Into a Ladian at level 18 after around 4 hours. Seriously, this thing at level 17 could not even one-shot a level 4 Rattata. Sentret into a Ferret at level 15. Hoothoot into a Noctowl at level 20. Rattata into a Raticate at level 20. Geodude into a Graveler at level 25. Ghastly into a Haunter at level 25. And my other Bellsprout into a Weepinbell at level 21. With no evolution stones up to this point, that's the most we can get out of that line. Weedle evolved into a Kakuna and into a Beedrill at level 10. And Pidgey into a Pidgeotto and into a Pidgeot at a whopping level 36. This alone took me around 11 hours. So, now that we caught and evolved all of... oh right, there's a route we missed out. On Route 46, which you can find northwest of New Barktown, we can't advance a lot. But we still have a little patch of grass, which gives us access to Spearow and Jigglypuff. Okay, this is the point where you have to decide. Do you want to keep what is left of your sanity, or do you want to grind for a Moonstone? You see, with the new feature of your mom saving money for you, it is technically possible to get enough money for a Moonstone. When she saved up enough money for you, and after a battle with a trainer, there is a chance that she will call you and telling you that she got an item for you. This would be a potion at 900 bucks saved, a repel at 4000 bucks saved, a super potion at 7000 bucks saved, a Charmander doll at 10,000 bucks saved, and a Moonstone at 15,000 bucks saved. The problem is that you are not even near that amount before you can take on Faulkner. Since you have access to regrowing berries though, which sell for a whopping 5 bucks, you technically can get enough money at some point for your mom to get a Moonstone. With the help of resetting the clock of your game, it is possible, but it would take over 1000 resets for doing so. And because of this, usually you get the Moonstone after Gym 1. And so did I. Technically I failed this challenge at this point, call me cheater, call me whatever, but I want to keep what is rest of my sanity. Also, that reminds me, please go to visit the Professor Oak subreddit, which I can warmly recommend. There you can find mad lads which achieve to get a Moonstone this early on. For real, a big shout out to them. Anyways, with this out of the way, we only have to evolve Spearow into a Fearow at level 20. And with this, after 53 hours and 30 minutes in, and 32 Pokemon in my Pokédex registered, I can finally take on Faulkner, and beat him up with these. After obtaining the very first batch, we can now head down to Route 32. But first, we will get a call from Professor Elm, telling us that we should take care of the mysterious Pokemon egg that Mr. Pokemon found. Taking that egg along with us will result in the egg hatching into a Togepi. On Route 32 we can extend our Pokédex with Mareep and Ekans in Pokemon Silver, which you can encounter at all times of the day. Hoppip during morning and daytime, and Wooper during night. Eventually we stumble across a Pokemon Center, where a fisherman gives us the old rod, and with that we have a bunch of new Pokemon to catch. Using our rod, we can catch Magikarp basically anywhere. Tentacool fishing in New Barktown, Krabby fishing in Cherrygrove City, Poliwag on Route 30, and Goldeen in the Dark Cave. But wait, there's more. After beating Fisherman Ralph on Route 32, he will ask for your Pokegear number. Occasionally, he will give you a call, telling you that there's an outbreak of wild quillfish on Route 32. After getting exactly that call, we will take that opportunity. So, now that we got every Pokemon we can get via fishing, we head straight into the Union Cave. If you are playing Pokemon Gold, you can get a Sandshrew here. Because we are playing Pokemon Silver, there's nothing new to catch for us here. But we can get the TM for Swift, which will come in handy later. Out of the Union Cave in Azalea Town, we have our first encounter with Team Rocket. They occupy the Slowpoke well and cut off the tails of Slowpokes for that sweet profit. Well, you know, because we are the good guys, we do what everyone would do. Sending an old guy ahead to do the work for us. And he broke his hip. Alright, so that we now have to deal with Team Rocket, hold on, time for a bathroom break. Evil Carrot Sauce, can you continue for me, please?
Over at the Slowpoke Well, we continue our story as usual, beating all Team Rocket grunts and driving them out of town. And here we can catch ourselves a Slowpoke. Now you may think we have caught everything possible up to this point and we can start evolving our Pokemon, but you would be wrong. Even without Badge 2, we can continue our way into the first section of the Ilex Forest. After kicking our rival's butt, we have access to a few more Pokemon, including Oddish and Paris. Helping the NPC with his Farfetch problem will result in us getting the HM early, also the item Charcoal, which we can sell for almost 5,000 Pokédollars. Now we have enough money so our mom can call us for that Moonstone we didn't get last time.
Ooh, thanks a lot. Okay, now for evolving our Pokemon. Now that we have the Moonstone, we can evolve Jigglypuff into a Wigglytuff. Having Togepi in our party and it gaining enough happiness, which will take a ridiculous amount of time, it will eventually evolve into a Togetic. Mareep evolves into a Fluffy at level 15 and into an Ampharos at level 30. Hoppip, which is also very annoying due to its low stats, will finally evolve into a Skiploom at level 18 and into a Jumpluff at level 27. Our Slowpoke will evolve into a Slowbro at level 37, but before doing so it learns Headbutt at level 34. Even without the second gym badge, this will give us access to a few more Pokemon. Testing out which trees gives us rare encounters or simply using a tool which showed them to you immediately, we can get a few more Pokemon. Yay! Using Headbutt, we can get our hands on an Execute, Pineco, Aipom and a Heracross. For anyone who's doing the challenge as well at the moment, this is your lottery ticket. Fighting Wild Heracross gives you incredible amounts of EXP. If you manage to beat them before they can flee from you. Damn, I hated that Gen 2 mechanic. With access to this new great training method, we can evolve the rest of our Pokemon. Ekans will evolve into an Arbok at level 22, Magikarp into a Gyarados at level 20, Tentacool will evolve into a Tentacruel at level 30, Wooper into a Quagsire at level 20, Cookie into a bigger Cookie at level 28, Poliwag into a Poliwhirl at level 25, Goldeen into a Seaking at level 33, Oddish into Gloom at level 21, Paras into Parasect at level 24, and finally Pineco into a Fortress at level 31. And with that, we have now 67 Pokemon at our Pokédex registered. And we have a playtime of around 112 hours and 49 minutes. With that badge, we are now able to use Cut and progress even further into Jotho, catching and evolving any new Pokemon that comes across my way, before facing Whitney and Badge 3. Moving on through Ilex Forest and onto Route 34, there's a few new Pokemon we can encounter here. Also, we now have access to the Pokemon Daycare, which allows us to get some new pre-evolutions. But first, let's get anything we can get on Route 34. This includes Drowsy, Abra and Ditto, which will come in useful later. Also, I catch a second Drowsy here for an upcoming trade. Welcome to Goldenrod, the capital city of Jotho. There's quite a few things to do here. For example, we can get ourselves a bike and a coin case for that sweet gambling. And you know what's the best thing about it? It's not Voltorb Flip. Yeah, I know, many people, including my girlfriend, like Voltorb Flip. But let me say that to you. You are wrong. The slot machine may not be the most fun thing to do, but they are at least more fun than Voltorb Flip. Also, it's such a shame that they got rid of it past Gen 4 in the West at least. Also, I may have a gambling addiction. Let's move on, shall we? With a little bit of gambling, we can get ourselves some prize Pokemon, which include Sandshrew in Pokemon Silver or Ekans in Pokemon Gold. Turns out that they are not version exclusives after all, which is really neat. Besides that, you can also get Abra here, if you didn't get it before, and Dratini. Yeah. I don't need to tell you that Dratini is a royal pain in the butt to evolve, but more on that later. A little tip I can give you if you are trying to do the challenge for yourself is that there is a gambling slot which gives you slightly better odds. This one unfortunately is occupied by a gambler at daytime and during night, but if you go there by morning, it's all yours. Let's be honest, the chances are not incredibly higher, but at this slot machines you take every better chance that you can get. And getting 2100 coins for Dratini will take a long time nevertheless, I can assure you that. Getting any prize Pokemon available in the game corner, I traded away my second Drowsy for a Machop in a department store, and make my way up to Route 35. Here I can catch Nidoran male and female, and Yanma, which, if they are not there with a swarm, has a 1% chance of appearing. After a little bit of grinding, and about half an hour later, I got lucky and Yanma appeared. Now the nightmare that is called National Park. As you surely know by now, there's bug catching contests every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays. Unfortunately, we kinda have to win this one. Twice. Only when winning the bug catching contest, we get ourselves a Sunstone, which we need 2 of for later evolutions. But because of the way the bug catching contest works, your chances of actually winning this one are not very high, even if you catch a Pinsir. The way it works is that the game calculates the score out of the last Pokemon stats that you captured. And if you are unlucky, as I am, winning the bug catching contest took me 19 times. Not even joking, 19 times. At least participating in the contest also allows us to get our hands on some few more Pokemon. This includes Scyther, Pinsir, Venonat, the Caterpie line if you are playing Silver, or the Weedle line if you are playing Pokemon Gold. Outside of the bug catching contests, we can catch ourselves Sunkern here during the day. East of the National Park, we almost hit our next obstacle before clearing the next patch, Sudowoodo. But there's a small patch of grass, where you can encounter some more Pokemon. Here we can find another exclusive. If you are playing Pokemon Gold, you can encounter Wild Growlithe here. In Pokemon Silver, we can find Vulpix. Besides that, with a 5% encounter rate, there's Wild Stantler here. With now 85 Pokemon in our Pokédex, let's evolve what we have. Starting with our Drowsy, it will evolve into a Hypno at level 26, Abra into a Kadabra at level 16, and we won't get Alakazam unfortunately, because trading is not an option for us. Our Game Corner Sandshrew will evolve into a Sandslash at level 22. Nidoran male and female into Nidorino and Nidorina respectively at level 16. Since we don't have access to any more Moonstones at this point, that's all we can get out of that line. Machop evolves into a Machoke at level 28, and for the same reason with Alakazam, we won't get Machamp. Venonat will evolve into a Venomoth at level 31, and with the 2 Sunstones we won, we can evolve Gloom into a Blossom and Sunkern into a Sunflora. Not going to say that the payoff for winning those bug catching contests should be something better than a Sunflora, but okay. Lastly, we can breed our Wigglytuff with a Ditto for an Igglybuff. Now to Dratini. Dratini. It literally only knows Rap, which is useless in Gen 2. And we need to get the thing up to level 55. If you're insane enough to do this, here's some few tips how I did it. If you want to evolve Dratini, Headbutt Trees is still your best friend. While Terracross might not give you the most EXP you can get at this point from wild Pokemon, but you can get those way more consistently to appear than Stantler or let's say Pinsir or Scyther. Also, if you didn't sold out your TM for Swift in the last section, definitely use it on Dratini. It will make your life way more easy. At this point I have to thank the users of the Professor Oak Challenge subreddit once more for that last tip. Thank you a lot, seriously. Teaching Dratini Swift and grinding on Headbutt Trees, I managed to get Dratini evolve into Dragonair at level 30 and into a Dragonite after about 20 hours, which was really not that bad. Now you may think this is the most tedious thing to do in the entire challenge. Just wait for the next part and the Romas. With now 97 Pokemon registered and about 130 out hours and 44 minutes in, we can finally face Whitney and her Miltank. And, oh boy, all the years of fighting her. That stupid roadhouse. That grind was definitely worth it. F you, Whitney. Give me that badge. We can now get ourselves the squirt bottle and catch the roadblock Sudowoodo. Now the way to Acrotique is open for us, and Olivine and Mahogany Town. Wow, Jotho really opens up after the first 3 badges. But first, don't forget to get the Rock Smash TM from the NPC right next to Sudowoodo. You will need it later. There's a lot of new Pokemon to catch in the section here, and quite frankly, this one was even harder than the previous one, but you will see why shortly. At first, now that we have access to the northern part of Jotho, we stop at Acrotique City. In the local Pokemon Center, Bill greets us, and after talking to him, we make a straight 180 back to Goldenrod. Why, you ask? Well, after speaking to Bill, his family will gift us an Eevee. Really nice gift at first when you think about it, but not when you have to get 2 more Pokemon based on happiness evolution. My tip here is to breed the Eevee you get to get 2 more eggs. When those eggs hatched, they will automatically have a higher friendship value. And trust me, gaining friendship in Gen 2 takes a long time. No evolution stones mean that we only need to get Espeon and Umbreon at this point. So, with 2 more Eevees in my party, I make my way to the Burnt Tower. After defeating our rival, we can catch some new Pokemon here. That includes Coughing, Magmar, and when using the Rock Smash, there's a 10% chance of us getting a Shuckle there. Coughing is the Pokemon which we need to grind the most in this section, so we catch this first. Leaving the Burnt Tower, there's definitely nothing more for us to do here. We can head straight to Route 38. Route 38 presents us with a lot more Pokemon to get our hands on. Also in Silver exclusive. Here we can catch Magnemite, be careful since it can flee at any time, Farfetch'd, Miltank, Taurus, Snubbull with the 1% encounter rate, and the Silver exclusive Meowth. Beating the trainers and saving up a bit of money, we can make our way to Olivine City. Arriving there, we can get the HM for Strength, the Good Rod, which gives us access to a few more Pokemon, and we can do a trade evolution. There is an NPC which trades a Krabby for a Voltorb, and we gladly accept this. But we are not quite done yet with Olivine. Using our Good Rod, we can get access to Shelder and Chinchou in the harbor area, Corsola if you fish in the Olivine Beach at day, and Staryu if you fish at night. Since we don't have any more evolution stones available at this point, Chinchou is the only Pokemon which we have to take care of. Going back to Acrotique, this is now a great opportunity to battle the Kimono Girls. They not only give us great EXP and money, but also defeating them results in us getting the HM for Surf, which we cannot use in the overworld, but acts great as a move for our water Pokemon. Jotho at this point is very open for exploration, without any HMs needed, so we make our way east to Mount Mortar. With another 1% encounter rate, we can catch a Pikablu there. Exiting Mount Mortar in the east, we can walk all the way up to the Lake of Rage. Gold players will find Mankey outside of Mount Mortar, bringing the exclusives in both games even. Heading to Route 43, south of the Lake of Rage, we have our best training spot for this section. Also we can get our hands on a Giraffaric here. Especially training at night will make you run into a lot of Noctowls and Giraffarics in the area. They both give crazy amounts of EXP, so that makes your life a lot easier. Unfortunately, we are not over with catching new Pokemon, so we need to return back to Acrotique. Returning to the Burnt Tower, there's another thing we can do. Going to the second underground floor, we have to activate the roamers. Yeah, we have to get all 3 of them. Whoever tried to catch one of them before knows the struggle. They know Roar, Flee when they would attack first, Fastballs don't work due to coding errors, and we have access to only a handful of Ultra Balls. Yeah, catching them will be a real pain in the... No way! No fucking way! No! 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 Are you fucking kidding me? Well, 1 down, 2 more to go, I guess. For anyone who struggles to get the roamers here, doesn't matter if it's in general or for the Professor Oak challenge, there's a great guide which came out recently, made by Hanger of Rome and Shiny Ghost Hunter Rich, which I strongly recommend checking out. They put 9 months of researching, calculating and getting footage for this, and quite frankly it makes the life of any Roma hunter a lot easier. This was not available to me at this point, so we will do it the old-fashioned way. Personally, I saved my game in the building north of the Ruins of Alph, and exited and entered the building until the Roma appears on my route. That was not too bad, but it still took me a bit of time in between the attacks. Raikou especially is a pain to catch, since when it has the chance to attack first, it will always flee. My Haunter at level 39 did pretty much outspeed Entei and Suicune, but Raikou is something else. It has an enormous speed stat, knows Raw, and Quick Attack. Remember, it will flee automatically when it has the chance to attack first, and Quick Attack is priority. Yeah. Seriously, Raikou is just pain. And no, the Quick Claw did not help, since it doesn't guarantee you attacking first at every turn. After several days I finally managed to get the rest of them, catching Suicune and Raikou at last. Did you think that before batch 4 we have 3 legendaries already? That's kinda cool, I guess. Anyways, we now have to breed and evolve all Pokemon we caught so far. Let's start with Coughing, since it needs the highest level to evolve here. It evolves into a Wheezing at level 35 and about 3 hours of grinding. Magnemite will evolve into a Magneton at level 30, after around an hour and a half of grinding on round 43. Snubbull into a Granbull at level 23, Meowth into a Persian at level 28, and our traded Voltorb into an Electrode at level 30. Chinchou will evolve into a Lantern at level 27, after around 1 hour of grinding. And Peekaboo will evolve into a Fat Peekaboo at level 18 in no time. Our 2 hatched Eevees will evolve into Aspeon and Umbreon, leveling up at day or nighttime respectively when the friendship is maxed out. And finally, we can breed our Magmar with a Ditto to get a Magby. Now there's only one thing left to do. Taking on Morty. After this very tedious section, and with now 128 Pokemon registered in the Pokédex, we can get batch number 4. From now on, the worst of the challenge is done already. With Morty defeated and all trainers cleared, we can easily pick on our next target. From this point, we have the choice between 3 different gyms. Since we want to collect the most Pokemon possible with the least amount of badges, our logical pick will be Price this time. Defeating Jasmine would only give us nothing but the badge, and Chuck only gives us Fly, but defeating Price will let us access Whirlpool. For now, we can use Surf outside of battles. With this new ability, we can get to quite a few new places and get more Pokemon. To start with that, we get all Pokemon out of the way first, which we need to get via surfing. Let's head back to Ilex Forest. Here in the body of water we can catch Psyduck, and with a 10% encounter rate its evolution, Golduck. Going all the way back to Union Cave, on Fridays at the lower floor, we can catch Lapras. Goat players can also catch Mantine while surfing on Route 41. On Silver, those are all the new Pokemon we can catch via surfing. Staying at Union Cave, we now have access to the hidden section of the Ruins of Alph. Natto and Smeargle are here, so we catch them to complete our Pokédex a little bit more. Returning back to Dark Cave all the way back on Route 31, with Surf we can now get to an area where we can catch Wild Wobbuffet. Ultimately, also using our new ability to surf, we can take our first step into Kanto. A bit early though. Crossing Tojo Falls is not possible for us yet, because we don't have Waterfall, but on the left side of the cave we can find ourselves another Moonstone. That Moonstone we use immediately to evolve either Nidorino or Nidorina. At this stage you can use only one of them, so pick wisely. Other than that, Natto is the only Pokemon which we have to take care of, and since it evolves at level 25, I used the Team Rocket plotline to get Xatu after a very short time. Also I got the HM for Whirlpool from Lance. Thanks. Fuck you. Seriously, I did all the work. Well, that's it for this section. With now 136 Pokemon caught, we can take on Price. And that 2 hours after we finished the last section, with now 158 hours and 24 minutes in. With Price out of the way, Whirlpool is now available to us. Hooray! This gives us access to only a few more Pokemon, so we can almost immediately take on Jasmine and Chuck. On our way to the Whirl Islands, we take a stop at the top of the lighthouse, activating the Amphi event. After doing so, our next target is the Whirl Islands. Inside of the islands, you can find wild seals. After catching one, we head straight to the cave where Lugia is supposed to be. Since we haven't reached this part of the story yet, the cave is empty. But there's still a body of water which you can surf on, where you can find Wild Horsey and Seadra. So the only Pokemon here we have to evolve is Seal, which only took a few levels until it became a Dugong. Picking up the secret potion, we can now continue our hunt for the badges. With 140 Pokemon in our party, 4 more, let's go for Jasmine first. Delivering the secret potion, she's now back in her gym, ready for us to defeat her, without the use of any memes or Houndour. A shame. Now having 6 badges, all we can do is to take on Chuck. No new Pokemon to catch here, unfortunately. As you can imagine, defeating Chuck was also no problem at all. And with still 140 Pokemon in our team, and after 160 hours and 6 minutes, we have badge 7 finally. More than that, we finally have the ability to use HM for Fly. Before we can go to Claire now, unfortunately there is another thing which came across our way. Professor Elm is calling us, noting that Team Rocket took over the radio tower in Goldenrod. Another takeover, really? Since there's no police around and the strongest force of Jotho is the 10-year-old with the 3 legendaries and the Dragonite, it's our job to clear out Team Rocket. Okay, since Team Rocket takes over something, this is the perfect opportunity for Evil Carrot Sauce to take over this video for now. Time for yet another bathroom break.
Returning to Goldenrod, and after 10 million Rocket Grunts, we're able to free the boss of the radio tower and disband Team Rocket once and for all. Maybe. For that, we get the Silver Wing, which lets us get another legendary. Returning back to the Whirl Islands, hopefully for the last time now, Lugia is waiting for us in the cave we saw before. We catch the box art Lugia here and make our way east of Mahogany Town. Before we enter the ice path, there's a couple more Pokemon we can catch here. In the patch of grass, we can find Wild Tangela and Lickitung. Also, there's a fisherman here, which gives you a call occasionally to let you know that there's been an outbreak of Remoraid on this route, a Pokemon which you otherwise can't obtain until later. Entering the ice path, there's a couple of new Pokemon to catch here. That's Jinx, Swinub, and Delibird for silver players. And don't forget to pick up the HM move for Waterfall here. Also, I'd like to take a moment to say how great Delibird is. It's the best Pokemon of all, and I will fight you for it. It's much better than, say, a Hoot Hoot in a hot dog costume.
Nothing can beat a Hoot Hoot in a hot dog costume. Anyway. Finally getting out of the ice path and arriving in Blackthorn City, this is where the fun part of the section begins. Well, if fun means grinding for another Dratini. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's an NPC in the city which trades a female Dragonair for a Rhydon. From this point we have 2 choices. Either go back to Goldenrod and buy another Dratini, or fish for level 10 Dratini over at Route 45 with the Good Rod. Knowing myself better and my gambling addiction, I go back to Goldenrod and got my Dratini there. Evolving the female Dratini into a Dragonair will result in us getting a Rhydon. Pretty cool trait, to be honest. Other than that, if we head south of Blackthorn, there's some more Pokemon to catch. Which Pokemon you encounter here is depending on the game version you use. Gold players will find Teddiursa and Gligar, while silver players find Phanpy and Skarmory at this place. That's all Pokemon we can catch up to this point. Now to evolve and breed what we have. Starting with the Remoraid we caught earlier, it evolved into an Octillery at level 25, which didn't took too long at all. Swinub evolved into a Piloswine after about 1 hour of grinding at level 33. Phanpy evolved into a Donphan at level 25, and that's all Pokemon we need to evolve here. But we can still get some more Pokemon before going to Claire, by breeding out Jinx with the Ditto we still have at the daycare, and doing the same with the traded Rhydon, we can get Smoochum and Rhyhorn. And with 155 Pokemon registered, and a time of 165 hours and 21 minutes, we can defeat Claire. I can tell you, it feels surprisingly fitting crushing her with a Dragonite, showing her what a real Dragon Master looks like. Now, with Badge 8, I forgot about that. You know Claire, she's special, she needs to get her way, so we make a small stop at a dragon's den, and finally receive Badge 8. Was that drama necessary, Claire? Was it? Anyways, one Master Ball later, it's almost time for us to face the Elite Four. Almost, you say? Well, yes. Defeating Claire not only gave us Badge 8, but also the ability to use Waterfall. Going back to Mount Mortar, at the very end of the cave there's an NPC, which you can only reach when using Waterfall. Defeating the Karate King will result in us getting a Tyroke. Surprisingly, that section was not as annoying as I thought it would be. Leveling up Tyroke resulted in me getting a Hitmontop first, and breeding that, I managed to get a Hitmonchan and a Hitmonlee pretty easily. The key to this is to bring your Tyroke to level 19 when it's just about to evolve and give it stat boosters. This way you can make sure that it will evolve into the evolution you still need. With the whole Tyroke evolution line out of the way, we make our way to Route 27. Here we can catch Ponyta, Doduo and Dodrio if you are playing Pokemon Silver for some reason. The last Pokemon which we have to take care now is Ponyta, which evolves at level 40. This may sound bad at first, but since we can encounter at level 32 and there's a lot of strong Pokemon and trainers here, it took just 40 minutes to evolve it into a Rapidash. And that's it for the complete Jotho section of the challenge. At this point you should have 163 Pokemon registered in our Pokédex. And with that, after defeating our rival for the last time, the Elite Four is open for us. Defeating them was not an issue at all. Lance was a little bit annoying, but ultimately only a little obstacle. Yeah, that's right. Pure Lance. Now we are the champion of Jotho, but the challenge is not over yet. One last section is still ahead of us. Kanto. Now that we are the champion of Jotho, there's new adventures awaiting us. And quite some more Pokemon as well. We wake up in New Barktown and receive a call from Professor Elm. He tells us that the ship SS Aqua is ready for departure, heading straight to Vermilion City in Kanto. Boarding the ship and after a small quest, we eventually arrive in Kanto. From here we have now complete freedom on which gyms we want to take on first. But you know what? You can get almost all of the remaining Pokemon without a single Kanto badge. Let's start by fixing the Magnet Train, since this will allow us to open all of Kanto. Going east of Cerulean City, we discover that the old power plant is now used for powering Kanto and the Magnet Train. But one of the parts of the power plant have been stolen. Perfect. Outside of the building we can catch an Electabuzz. Going back to Cerulean City and entering the gym, the perpetrator is already fleeing. Following him to the old Nugget Bridge and defeating him and crushing his dreams, we can finally get the missing part back and return it to the power plant. Now we can head straight to Lavender Town. In the Rock Tunnel we can catch some new Pokemon as well. And I can tell you, Rock Tunnel in Gen 2 is not as much annoying as it is in Gen 1. On the different levels of the Rock Tunnel you can catch Cubone, Marowak and Kangaskhan. Arriving in Lavender Town, we get the expansion card for the Pokegear radio for fixing the Magnet Train. We now have the opportunity to wake up Snorlax in Vermilion City, and to catch it. Now the entrance to Diglett Tunnel is free, and, as the name suggests, we can get Diglett and Dugtrio here. Exiting the Diglett Cave on Route 2, we stay here to catch a Pikachu. Going south and to Pallet Town, there's a tiny patch of grass where you can find a Mr. Mime. Going north, a man in Pewter City will give us a Rainbow Wing, so we can get the other box art legendary Pokemon if we please so. Man, I miss the times where you could actually get both legendaries Pokemon in the same generation in one game. Well, anyways, east of Pewter you will find Mount Moon. There we can catch Clefairy, and we get the opportunity to get our hands on more Moonstones. On Monday nights there is an event where Clefairy will dance around a rock, which will spawn in every week. Breaking this rock after the event will get us a Moonstone. We can finally take care of those evolutions later now. Coming out of Mount Moon and flying back to either Vermilion or Cerulean City, we can enter Saffron City for the first time. And immediately leave it again, using the exit on the west side. Outside of Saffron City, at night, there's Wild Murkrow and Houndour here. After filling our Pokédex a little bit more, we head straight west to Celadon City. There is 3 more Pokémon we can get here, being Grimer, Muk and Porygon. Grimer and Muk you can find easily at a little patch of water next to the game corner, and Porygon you can purchase at a whopping 9,999 coins. To be honest, money at this point is no issue at all, but still. Really? Was it worth it? Definitely not. West of Celadon and onto the cycling road, there's wild Slugma we can catch here. After stopping by to get one of them, Fuchsia is our next goal. East of the city on Route 14, you can catch a wild Chansey. I'm so glad you don't need to get into the Safari Zone anymore. Chansey is a real pain in the section, since you need 2 of them. I would recommend you to catch one Chansey and breed it for another one, since you need to evolve it, and the newly hatched Chansey will have a higher friendship value. As you may know, gaining friendship in Gen 2 is a real pain. The parent Chansey we trade away on the same route for an Aerodactyl. A bit weird choice for a trade, but I won't complain. Traveling back to Jotho, having the Rainbow Wing, Ho-Oh is available to us now, or Lugia if you would play Pokemon Gold. Before we evolve and breed all the Pokemon we got so far, there's one more thing we can do. Speaking to Bill's grandpa north of Cerulean City, in Bill's old house, showing him certain Pokemon, we get one of the Elemental Stones and an Everstone for no reason at all. But now, let's evolve what we have. Let's start with Houndour. It will evolve into a Houndoom at level 24. Slugma will evolve into a Macago at level 38. And now we can use all the Elemental Stones we got from Bill's grandpa and from the Clefairy event. With that, we can evolve the other Nidoran line, which we didn't evolve last time. Also Clefairy into Clefable. The Elemental Stones you got from Bill's grandpa you can use as you please, but unfortunately we only have one of them each, and they are the only ones in the game. I used my Leaf Stone on Execute to evolve it into an Executor, the Thunderstone to one of my Eevees to get a Jolteon, because why not, Jolteon is awesome, the Firestone to evolve Vulpix into a Ninetales, and the Waterstone to evolve my Staryu into a Starmie. Breeding our Pikachu, our Clefable and our Electabuzz we caught earlier, we can get the pre-evolutions of Pichu, Cleffa and Elekid. And for the very last, bringing our Chansey to max happiness and leveling it up will result in us getting a Blissey. Now, with 194 Pokemon in our Pokédex, it's finally time to take on the Kanto leaders. And you know what? Now you can take on all of them at once. There's no more Pokemon to catch in between. And with a time of 176 hours and 20 minutes, I got badge number 16. But we are not over yet, as we now have access to Mount Silver. In this very last section, there's only a handful of new Pokemon we can get. On Route 28, the last route before Mount Silver, we can catch Sneasel. By the way, did you know that in the Japanese and Korean games you can catch an exclusive Pokemon from the other game here? Meaning that Japanese Gold players could catch a Donphan here, and Japanese Silver players an Ursaring. Thanks for cutting content. Well, anyways, inside of Mount Silver, the last Pokemon we can get here are Misdreavus and Larvitar. Oh no, another Dratini? Really? Yeah, as you can imagine, it also evolves at level 55, and you can get it at level 10 or level 20. Well, back to the grinding. To be completely honest, it was not nearly half as bad as Dratini. At this point you have access to the Elite Four to grind over and over again, and the Pokemon outside of Mount Silver are usually over level 40, so the experience yield is pretty good. So after around 3 hours of grinding, my Larvitar evolved into a Pupitar, and the Pupitar evolved into a Tyranitar. And with that, and 199 Pokemon registered, and a playtime of 179 hours and 21 minutes, I completed the Professor Oak challenge in Pokemon Silver. Wow, that was quite a journey. I really hope that you liked my little spin on the series. To be honest, I really loved the Professor Oak challenge, and I can warmly recommend it trying it out for yourself. One last time, thank you all for supporting me, and please check out the Professor Oak subreddit and the Discord server, if you plan to do it on your own as well. The subreddit and the Discord is full of friendly people who help you out if you get stuck or if you have any question at all. You can ask them at any time, or you can ask me in the comment section. As usual, I'll leave a link in the video description. I hope you had as much fun as I had during the challenge. Until the next one. See ya!